Okay, Hans Shershaw here for Image West. We're going to go ahead and put the Flycam 5000 together. I'm just going to go through it real quick and show you how to do it. The instructions they give you are really good, so if you get lost and you're not really sure, just refer to them. This is what you get when you get it. You get your central post, your head assembly, and your base platform. The base platform is where you put your weights, and you get these in little baggies, and those things go on just like this. And I'll show you how to determine how much of those you need to have in just a minute as we're putting this together. So it's pretty simple. You just take your central post, and there's a tube on the bottom. You screw that into your base platform right here. Tighten that up. Put your central post right on there. That telescopes down. And you got a little nut right here to tighten that up and loosen it up. And then you put your head assembly right on top here, and there's a couple small screws that you get with it. That comes with an Allen key in your bag, so you just go ahead and you want to snug these up real good so you don't get any kind of wobble or anything when you're shooting. So after you get those tightened up, you want to go ahead and remove the top plate off of your head assembly. It's got a bunch of different holes so you can put your camera wherever you want to on here. Depending on if you have a real front heavy camera or back heavy camera and lots of gear on it, whatever you're going to go ahead and shoot with on the Flycam, you want to kind of think about when you're setting up your camera. We went ahead and got a quick release plate, so we're going to go ahead and put that onto here. And then once we've done that, we're going to go ahead and tighten those guys up. So you can see that that's on there. And then that goes right back here. There's 4 screws on the bottom here as well as the screws on the side. The screws on the bottom, when you loosen those up, it's going to allow you to move your head back and forth this way. The ones on the side are going to help you move it forward and back. So when you're balancing your camera on here, it makes it a whole lot easier. If you have the quick release, it's got your release on the side, which actually allows you a lot of room to just move the camera on that if you needed to. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take our EX1 and we're going to put this onto the base plate that we've just mounted. And you'll see that there's a little silver button right here. And what you need to do is push that in and then slide your base plate on the rest of the way. That'll keep it from coming off if you do have an accident or something comes loose. There's a tensioner over here on this side. So you want to go ahead and get your camera where you want it and then tighten up that tensioner right there. And that'll keep the base plate from sliding around. And now you can kind of start balancing your camera by moving this plate back and forth, and then by loosening these screws side by side. One thing you do have to keep in mind is you want to have your camera set up just like you're going to be shooting with it. So if you have your screen open when you're shooting, make sure that it's out like that, because you could get the whole thing balanced perfectly, open up the screen, and that's going to throw the whole thing off and make it tilt a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and balance my camera real quick, and I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do as far as weights and getting it balanced as quickly as I can. I figured out how much weight I need down here already. So what you'll need to do is kind of just play with that. And it's actually pretty easy to do. You want to take your camera and you basically hold it like this, and you want your camera to drop down to here in about 2 seconds. So right now the way I've got it is everything's loose and it's all wobbly. So what we want to do is we want to kind of get everything centered about where we think it needs to be. So when you lift it up, it shouldn't go forward or back or left or right. So that's obviously tipping forward, so we're going to keep sliding that back until we get it to where we want it. Right there looks pretty close. We'll slide it forward just a tiny little bit, because even just the smallest little adjustments make a big difference. So you can see that that's actually pretty good right there, but I think it's going to take a little too long to get down to center. For me anyway, it's pretty good. 1, 2, maybe just a little bit long. And the way I'm going to adjust that to make it swing just a little bit more is I'm going to loosen up this, raise it up just a little bit, and that's going to give me just a little more weight on the outside here, which makes it come down a little faster. For me, I like it like that. They recommend 2 seconds. I like it about 1.5, just because that way I get a little bit less sway in my movement. So that's basically how you put it together. The weights are very adjustable. You just go ahead and you can put as many in these trays as you want to. Use those little foam things that come with it to go ahead and use a spacer so you don't have a bunch of space in there, because if you are running around or doing something, you don't want those things jangling in there. So that's basically how you set it up. This thing is super cool. I recommend anybody get one of these. For the price point, you can't go wrong. They're $289 over at imagewest.tv. So if you have any questions, refer to your guide. Good luck and have a lot of fun.